Hey guys, welcome to Chapter 10 of the Skyward Sword video walkthrough, and this chapter is going to cover the fourth dungeon of the game, the Ancient Cistern. Right off the bat, just run on across the lily pads and read the statue to the right over here. Carved into the great statue are inscriptions of gratitude. They reveal the secret order of this temple. First the back, then the rear, then the back of the right hand, and finally the back of the left hand. When I first read this, I was a bit confused almost immediately, thinking, what is the difference between back and rear? When I think of back, I think of back behind you, the back seat of a car. And then when I think of rear, I also think of rear behind you, like the rear view mirror that sees behind the car. Anyway, the back of this large statue, you can see there's like 4 spots, and the part at the top is shaded in blue. Then if you look at the rear, which is like the bottom, you'll see the bottom part of the symbol is shaded in. So thus far we have top and then bottom. So the next part of the secret order is the back of the right hand. In front of this massive statue there are these 2 hands, and there are these silver rupees that are on top of the hands. If you just swim on over normally, the hands will close, preventing you from getting the silver rupee. So you'll have to perform like a water dash attack in order to zoom right by. And then behind the right hand, you see that the left part of the little symbol is shaded in. So thus far we have the secret order is top, bottom, left. And now we have to go to the final location that gives away the secret order, and that's the other hand. Once again, perform a water dash attack and get the silver rupee. And if you look behind the hand, you find that the right side is shaded in. Thus, in the final analysis, the secret order of the dungeon is top, bottom, left, and right. This is going to come into use almost immediately, actually. In fact, the next room that we enter. So jump back onto any of the lily pads here that you can gain access to, and then jump on over to the locked door over here. You could jump back to the entrance of the dungeon and just make your way around if you'd really like to. There are some green choo-choo here, but at this point in the game they shouldn't give you too much problem. Jump over and grab the lever here, and this will cause the door to open up. If I can actually run and jump at this successfully, I have no idea why this is taking me so many tries. It's not that hard to do at all. That was just pure and utter failure on my behalf. Anyway, head into the next room, and you can just jump down. As you're falling down, there are these like lily pads underneath. If you just jump and land normally, the lily pad will flip over. And this is going to come into use later on, as there are some puzzles involving these particular lily pads, and you'll have to do this. Over here there's a couple spider webs, and there's some skulltulas. You can cut off the webs if you'd like, and if the skulltulas do fall down, you can just defeat them. You know, when I first came by this room the first time I played this game, I did not realize that had like a special lock. I sort of just saw that the door was locked, and I thought I needed a small key. So I ended up running around this dungeon for literally 40 minutes looking for a small key. Then I realized that this is not a locked door at all, and this is just the secret order. You did it from top, bottom, left, and right. It's incredibly simple. I mean, considering they sort of give you that hint in the first room with that stone tablet. Granted, finding the proper order might be a little difficult for some people, but you know, I thought you needed a small key, and I could never do it, and it was incredibly annoying actually. But I was very disappointed once I figured out what I needed to do. Anyway, there are some skulltulas in here that you can just chop down with your beetle if you'd really like to, and since I now have the quick beetle, I can always just press A to speed up the beetle. Additionally, there's a walltula on the vine at the corner of the room, and you're going to need to defeat that walltula so that you can climb up the vines. There is a secret passage of sorts underwater here, but we can't really do anything about it because there's one of those lily pads that the part that like extends away from the lily pad is under the water. If you jump and land on top of it, it will cause the lily pad to flip on over, and this will allow you to swim through the little secret passageway. There's also another little small corridor here that has some green rupees, so be sure to pick those up and then swim through this little passageway. There are these wooden crates there, or just like some wooden planks that block your pathway here. So just perform a water dash attack. This is very similar to like when we were at Lake Floria. There's nothing really too different about it. And then just swim through, and then go ahead and climb up the vines once you get out of the water. If I can actually make it. There we go. Afterwards, just run ahead, go through the door, and then once you progress through the door, you will find a treasure chest. So go ahead and open it to get a small key, the first small key in the game. Afterwards, just jump off the ledge and ride up the water geyser thingy over here to get to the higher ledge, and you'll encounter a regular Deku Baba. And this is a minor complaint of mine about Skyward Sword. I sort of touched on this earlier, the whole enemy progression. I mean, we fought some regular Choo-Choo, Green Choo-Choo, and Keese, and Deku Baba early on in the game, like in some cases on Skyloft before the first dungeon, and they were difficult at the time since we were just getting used to the controls. But no, at this point, I don't think they need to load this area with Green Choo-Choo. I mean, it's one of the most simplistic enemies in the game, yet this dungeon, the 4th dungeon, we're 40% through the game pretty much, and we're fighting Green Choo-Choo still. I mean, we already fought the yellow, more difficult Choo-Choo in the last dungeon, so, they should have continued with further progression. Instead, I sort of felt like the enemies in the Ancient Cistern, for the most part, there's a couple new ones, but they're not too challenging, and it was kind of disappointing in a way. Anyway, we're going to jump on over to this large central room. We're going to be returning here, or adjusting the structure several times throughout the dungeon. And at the very top, that's sort of the keyhole, basically, where you put the boss key in, so that we can take on the dungeon boss. Anyway, just jump on down and you'll take on the dungeon mini-boss, Stalmaster. I absolutely love that little intro where his bones come together and he grabs his head. Anyway, the first part of this boss is just like fighting a Stalfos, like you did in the Skyview Temple. It'll block in 2 directions, and you just need to strike at it in the 2 directions that it's not defending itself. After several hits, it'll pull out 2 of its arms, so now it has 4 arms. At this phase, he will block 3 of his sections, so you have to be a little more precise with the Wii Motion Plus. Occasionally, he'll block all 4 of the sides of his body, at which point you can just deliver a sword jab of sorts. Alternatively, just like fighting a Stalfos, you can use your shield attack to knock him back when he's about to attack you. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all there is to it. I find him a lot of fun to fight. It's one of the best examples of the use of the Wii Motion Plus technology, at least in my opinion. There's varieties of ways to fight him. I believe you can also use bombs like you did against regular Stalfos, but just keep slashing away at him, and he sort of like dances around and trips over his own skull. After defeating him, the door will open up, so head on through, and inside you will find a treasure chest, and this treasure chest contains the dungeon item. And if you haven't guessed it already, I'm probably going to cut off this video before you actually get the dungeon item. I guess that's sort of become my thing throughout this video guide. So join me for the next video, and we will see what the dungeon item was. See you guys next time.